regularly have far too many browser tabs open, and knowing which one to click on can be quite a problem when you have this many open. Google Chrome has tab groups to help with this. Tab groups are a newer feature in Google Chrome, and my wife wasn't aware of them until she saw me using them just the other day. So let's take a look at what tab groups are and how I use them.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 2, 5, 7.
Now I've got a browser window open here with a collection of tabs up at the top, giving us a sample of what it looks like oftentimes when I'm using my browser. I've got a bunch of tabs open doing too many things with too many tabs. I've since started to use tab groups to help with this, but this is what it looked like before. So how do we get started with tab groups? Well, first off, we need to go to Settings, and we'll go to Appearance, and we need to turn on the Bookmarks bar and the tab groups in the Bookmarks. It's not 100% necessary, but it is certainly helpful as we go about trying to see and access these. I can add tab groups just by right-clicking though. If I go up to You in Google, we can select Sync and Google Services. There we can manage what I'm syncing. I choose to sync everything. If you've chosen to be customizing that list, if you'd like to sync tab groups across all the browsers that you have open, all the Chrome browsers that is, you can do that right down here with Save Tab Groups. That's an option right here. I, of course, have everything synced, so I get this on my phone, on my laptop, on this computer, ready to go for me. Now that we've got this section up here, let's go ahead and circle it for us here. We're talking right here. I've got a sample there. Tech-Fueled Adulting is a tab group I've already created, but let's create a couple more tab groups. First off, I've got a collection of social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Grok. We can probably group all those together. So I held down the Control key and I clicked across all four of those. I'm going to right click, and then I can add tabs to a new group. And we can call this social media. And we'll give it a yellow color. Great. Now I've got that. We see that it's given the whole tab group a color and it's underlined it here, and then the tab that is selected has it going over the top. What makes this fantastic for me is I can collapse that down, and now all the tabs shrink. We could do the same thing again. I have some streaming services up here. I can select all those. Once again, Control, click. Actually, I think it's, am I holding Control or I'm holding Shift? I am holding Shift. Control, you'll have to select each one of them. Shift, I can go all the way. New tab group. I can select one I've already created, or I can do a new tab group. I want to do a new tab group, and these are just streaming services. And we'll give that one a blue color. Click off of that. I can shrink these down. Now I start to be able to see all these over here. These are going to be all a bunch of Google services. Held down that Shift key again. Add to a new group, and we'll just call these. And I'm going to give that one, gosh, let's go orange. Fantastic. Now I've grouped them with a tab group, and I have access to see far more of what's going on and where. Oh goodness, I have a bunch of shopping options over here. I should probably group those into shopping. Just another group. And we can give that one purple. Away we go. The colors we've selected here do show up down here for us, same ones. And I can close an entire group. I've right-clicked on it. I can close that group. As you see here, the ones that are open have a ring around them, the same color. The ones that aren't open don't have that ring. I can click on that. It'll open them back up, right like that. This is super helpful for me because generally when I'm doing research or I'm looking something up or I'm even shopping, right? I've got a collection of things. I'm looking for something specific. And then I get sidetracked with something else and I want to keep going. Well, I can group all those tabs together, put them in a tab group and collapse them. I'll come back to it later. with those tab groups, they're short term. They're for my day-to-day organization. They are also very dynamic. So if I choose to go somewhere else, if I go to Yahoo, sure, let's go to Yahoo, pull that up. As I go through this, it has saved that. So if I close streaming services and I pull it back up, we're going to see Yahoo is now in there. Each one of these tabs goes, it's in the group. It's going to be dynamic and keep that wherever you last were. It'll pull that back up. If you move tabs out, there we go, out, you see how the underline stops here. This is and it doesn't go up over the top of this one. So this is out of the group. When I collapse that, it's out of the group. And then I close streaming services. If I open it back up, we'll notice that, nope, Disney's not in there. Disney's over here. I can click and drag that back in there. And the same thing I can do with any of these others as well. Super helpful to be able to do this. I can also right click and maybe I just want to pull it out into a separate window, move it across to my other monitor. We can do that too. Move group to a new window, pull that out right here. Or I can grab all those and put them back in the same browser. If I remove, let's put this into shopping, sure. If I collapse all of these down, it will open up a new tab for me. It always has to have a single tab. You can pin that tab and it will be fine out over here, but it will want to have at least one browser tab available to you to use. So you can't close them all down. I want to compare this to what we might have seen in the past, which is bookmarks. And if we think about bookmarks, they're going to be far more of a static archival format where we're going to have a hierarchy, a folder structure. It starts off here with the bookmarks bar, and I can simply, if we go to Yahoo, I can drag a Yahoo to it. I can right click and add a folder and do old search engines, and I can place it in there and I can archive that. I keep that. Maybe I'll reference it later, but if I open this up and I move around, that's not going to change the bookmark. I'm just moving around in a tab. The tab groups keep track of where you are and where you're going. Okay, so that's how I use them. I use this every day. I use them in a variety of different ways to keep myself organized, but it's very helpful to be able to have them color-coded and labeled so that I can see them, and then I can pull them up as I move about for the day. Let me know in the comments whether you found this helpful. How do you use your tab groups?